What is in the mentorDINO Revit Crash Course? Welcome everyone, my name is Katelyn Rossier. I am a licensed architect and owner of mentorDINO. In this video, I'm going to show you through what is in the Revit Crash Course so you can understand a little bit more about it. But before I dive in, I want to step back. I want to talk to you a little bit more about why I created mentorDINO and why this course is so important. mentorDINO was created to empower the architect, engineering, and construction industry through innovative solutions addressing multifaceted gaps in knowledge. And our commitment is to elevate the entire profession by fostering a holistic and collaborative environment along the way. This course in particular deals with the gaps between academia and practice. Oftentimes in academia, it is about learning how to simply problem solve and think abstract, and they get rid of the fine-grained details of how to physically detail and draft a project. You typically don't have drafting standards taught anymore at architecture school, and with the immense amount of different digital technologies and being able to create presentations presenting to other architects, their foundational skills may be a little bit lacking. Most students I found didn't even learn Revit while in college. I was fortunate enough to learn Revit while actually in high school and used it most of my time throughout college while also experiencing other programs, and then kicked off my career using Revit within a firm, and have been using Revit within different firm sizes for 10 years now. So I have over 16 years of experience in Revit, but I've also seen professionals coming in without that experience ahead of time, and it can be very overwhelming. So that is why I created the course. Now, how did I do this? How did I step back and be able to understand what's going on, and how will this help you? It's about being thrown into the deep end, but then not understanding where you need to go. Those young professionals that have never used the software before are not only learning the software, learning company culture, learning what drafting standards even are, and how to apply all these things together while trying to prove themselves within the firm. This can lead to immense amount of time and stress, not only time on the company for somebody to learn the different programs, they're going to be moving a little bit slower, but then that's also going to stress the young professional out. Recent grads really want to do a fantastic job. They want to hit their career running, and they want to prove to you that their education was beneficial and that they can make a difference in the firm. But if they've got to step back and even just learn these programs, and some of the training out there is very dry and boring and just very time consuming. This course is meant to get the ground running within a few days, so then they can jump into real world projects and get that experience they're learning for, while also just being able to understand the program itself. Now imagine if you could take this trial and error that happens, scratch all this, remove these slides. Architecture is a complicated profession and we'll never know everything. But if you don't create that solid foundation, then you won't be able to go to brand new heights. Let's dive into what is in the Revit Crash Course. So jumping in, this is what the home screen looks like. It is segmented out in a linear order. I typically recommend this order just because I break up and go through certain tabs within Revit that make the most sense. But this introduction section, the welcome section, I actually have presentations. Let's start big picture, back up before even diving into Revit itself. And as you complete these sections, the circles on the left-hand side are open if you have not completed that course yet, partially filled like this one, if you've done it partially but haven't completed it yet, and then they are solid filled once you've completed that section. Now within these, I do create different parts so you can take a break, practice, because it's always about practicing. In this course, I pretty much build a really bad building. It's more fun to see, but just trying to make weird shapes and how different weird angles can create some unique instances once you get further into the drafting. So this isn't about copying what I'm doing like a lot of Revit textbooks are doing. It's more about create your own weird building and be able to model it from it, or you can use your house as an example to go through and model it as you go through and practice these different areas. And in each section, it is full video demo content. So I'm going through step by step what buttons to hit along the way. So it's not reading. You can have the video up side by side if you've got two screens to be able to practice. You can pause, rewind. These are all digitally recorded. So you can always go back and double check anything after you've practiced something, or if you need a refresher, which is the benefit of these being recordings rather than just live trainings. Now let's dive into the course itself. So I pretty much have it broken up into 3 parts. And there is a schedule, which is the main PDF part of this course, and it's just to give you some options. You could really run through the course in one really long day, but that's really eliminating a lot of practice time and time for you to absorb the content along the way. I typically recommend 2, if not 3 days. 3 days is probably the best, so you have plenty of time to practice, and you can add even more practice time in there as well. But these sessions are meant so it's great for onboarding at a firm. If you need some additional training, maybe you can reach out to your firm to purchase this course for you. It's very affordable, so you can just be able to slowly ramp up in your career. Now, this is a crash course level, so it's more introduction, going through the different buttons, what different buttons do, and then you practicing using and implementing them. The Build Well course, which I'll leave links below in the show notes if you want to check out that course, is a little bit more in depth on the actual detailing documentation, and I talk about constructability and how things go together. This course is purely about how to use the program, how to model different components, and where to look for the information. The where to look for the information is why I've broken up the course into the tabs you see at the top of your screen in Revit. So I can go through the majority of the buttons. I don't go through every one of them because we don't use all of them in architecture. But you also don't need to know all of them unless you have a special instance, which at that point it'll be project specific and you can dive into that. But I go through all of the main buttons you're going to use on a regular basis. I don't go through any hotkeys because you can create your own hotkeys depending on what you like to use. So if you are transitioning over from Rhino or AutoCAD and you have your favorite hotkeys for certain things, you can always set that up and check out different videos to be able to find out that information. This is all going to be tab based and where to find things on the physical screen. So if you are not a hotkey person, you can always jump in and do this. This course is also great if you are a more senior professional wanting to just understand how Revit works, where things are located, if you ever need to jump into the model and see what's going on with your teams, or being able to help somebody to, hey, let's check over here and problem solve any issues. But these courses themselves are meant to get you off the ground running and being able to jump in, work on live projects with your teams, and be successful within the first week of starting out your career. So I hope this video was helpful for you to understand a little bit more on the level of this course, what to expect out of it. And you can always check out the links below to learn more information. You can check out my website to find out the investment, where to purchase, how to access everything. And if you have any additional questions, you can always shoot me an email or leave me a comment below. So thank you guys, and I hope you enjoyed this video and learning a little bit more what's inside the Revit Crash course.